Today we're painting a Super Mutant from Modiphius's Fallout Wasteland Warfare right after this. Hey everyone, Sam here from the Tabletop Hub, and this is my attempt at painting a Super Mutant from Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Now this is our painting guide or painting tutorial series here at the Tabletop Hub, and what makes it different from other painting guides is that I include my mistakes and tell you about them. Now I'm not a professional painter by any means, so as I learn and progress as a painter, the hope is, as you watch these videos, you begin to progress and improve too. So, to begin, I applied a undercoat of zenithal highlights to help me better pick out where the highlights and shadows are in the miniature. Now once this had dried, I took some of Army Painter's Angel Green and applied this to all of the shadowed areas on the miniature. Now this is the first time I've used a wet palette, and I have to say I'm already seeing a massive difference when painting my miniatures. You may need to apply a couple of layers to get an even coating, but the results really speak for themselves. Your work is less chalky and preserves the details on the miniature itself, which I think is just amazing. Once this was done, I then took Army Painter's Jungle Green and began painting the highlighted areas of the miniature. At the areas where I saw the highlight meet the darker areas, I tried to blend the two colours as best as I could. Now, Jungle Green may look a little too bright whenever you see it kind of come straight out of the pot, but remember we will be adding a dark wash to this at the end, which will bring that down a little bit. Equally, the skin colour of the Super Mutants in Fallout 4 is quite bright itself, so we're not too far off by using this kind of shade of green. For the cloth and clothing that the Super Mutant wears, I actually steered clear of using any browns. Instead, I used Army Painter's Dark Stone. It gave the clothing a nice dark and discoloured look. Next, I moved on to the pieces of metal that the Super Mutant uses as protection. Now, recently for any metal I've been painting, I've kind of been tending to steer clear of using actual metallic paints. I just don't feel like it gives me the look I'm trying to achieve, so in this case, I used Dungeon Grey from Army Painter. Now, if you look at any images of a Super Mutant, you'll notice that the armour they wear is all rusted and weathered. So I wanted to achieve a very similar look here. So what I did was I took Army Painter's dry rust effect paint and got my stippling brush and applied just a little amount to the brush itself, and then just dabbed the effect paint onto the metal. Now once it was applied, I would occasionally scratch it or dab it some more, but it gave the armour a really nice look, and I think the weathering effect really works well. Once this was done, it was really just time to apply some finishing touches to the miniature and get those final details completed. So I applied some of Vallejo's Bone White to the skulls around its waist and the cloth coming out of the Molotov cocktail. I equally added some Army Painter Leather Brown to the ropes that the Super Mutant has tied around it and to the Molotov it's holding as well. And once this was completed, it was time to add the wash. Now usually I would use Army Painter's Quick Shade at this stage and apply that to my miniatures, but this time I wanted to experiment with some Citadel inks after some of you had suggested them down in the comments as well as over on the Discord as well, just to see what kind of finish they would produce. So I used some Egrax Earthshade from Citadel and applied this generously to the miniature and then removed any excess or unwanted pools of the ink before leaving it to dry. It gave a similar look to what you'd achieve from the quick shade, and I think on a miniature with such intricate details, having a wash or ink with a thinner consistency perhaps works well. I still love the quick shade though, and I probably will keep using it. I might even experiment with a future Super Mutant and use quick shade there, just to see what the differences are. Now with the miniature more or less complete, I wanted to finish it off by completing the base. So I got some Army Painter Leather Brown and gave a quick coating to the ground. For the barrel, I used some Army Painter's Desert Yellow and applied a couple of coats there before taking some Oak Brown from Army Painter as well and painting any wooden planks you can see sticking out of the ground. One stage I don't know if I'd repeat was once this was all done, I took some Egrax Earthshade and covered the ground with it. I equally took some green ink and added this to the barrel and to the wood to make it look like they'd gotten moss or fungus growing on them. Like I say, I'm not sure if I'd do this to the ground again, but I think for the wood and the barrel it added a nice effect. With this complete, I gave the miniature a quick coating of anti-shine and we were done. In all, I think the paintwork was effective in replicating the look of the Super Mutants from the Fallout series. In future though, what I'll likely do is give the bases more of a gravelled look than a dirt one, because I think that would look quite nice and fit in with more of a urban look that Fallout has. In the meantime though, why not let me know what you think down in the comments below. Equally, if you are a beginner miniature painter looking to improve, or if you're a seasoned veteran who wouldn't mind passing on some wisdom to beginners, please do join my Discord, which is linked in the video description. We have a tabletop hub chat there where the miniature painters in our community share their work and give advice, and it's a great place to get to know the community here on the channel. But until next time, have a great week folks, and I'll speak to you all soon.